What's up, everybody? Today on the Lucent Truth, we're going to be reviewing the new Halloween movie, the Halloween 2018. It'll be our last October Halloween Fest movie review. And we're going to start off, as usual, with the plot and story, beginning with Uncle David. Uncle David, what did you think of the plot and the story for the new Halloween?
First of all, what are you?
See how they want to do the Master of Death. I won't go into a long history about Ninja and the mask they wore under the mask. I'll just get to the podcast and talk about what I thought about the plot of Halloween. It sucked. It sucked. I never seen people want to die so much in a movie when people were trying to kill them. I'm like, every chance that you had to do to get away, to run. Here's when you run fast. Oh, we're gonna run in the woods. Here's when you should scream. Let me scream and let them know I am. Here's when you shouldn't open the door. Let's open it. I mean, it was just full of the whole idea of making it easy for the killer to kill you. Never happened in real life. I'm sorry. He would have to work a lot harder than that, and that's what I thought about the plot and story. There's too many holes in the plot if you're trying to prove that they were trying to get away from Michael Myers.
Orlando, what did you think?
Being that I haven't seen the first one, I seen bits and pieces of it.
That's not Orlando, by the way.
Oh, yeah. First tell them,
who are you?
Who are you? Yeah.
Oh, I am a modern day assassin. Okay, the safety is on, but there we go. Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's real over here. It's real. But put that safety back on. But yeah.
Watch what he point at.
Okay. But the plot. I mean, it was entertaining, I guess, too. I mean, to me, I just felt like I was watching for the first time, because like I said, I've never really actually seen all of the first one. But yeah, pretty much picking up on what Dave was saying. I mean, there's so many, parts in there, okay, why would you run in here? Why would you go do this and that? I mean, you may have some of the supporting cast people in there, even telling them, like, you're going to die if you go in there and stuff. And so, they kind of played off that, so I mean, but yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Rock was okay.
First, I'm going to reveal who I am, because apparently people don't watch movies from the 80s. But I am not Muammar Gaddafi. I am Gerald Chandler from The Golden Child, the Chosen One, the original Chosen One, before Neo in the Matrix. I am the original one. I have my Ajanti dagger, or what Uncle Dave likes to call the Ajanti letter opener, because it's supposed to be I thought it was going to be a lot larger.
Tell him, Brian, there is a floor. Yes, it's a little pin.
Right. But going back to the movie, I actually thought the story wasn't very good, because it's basically just the same. I mean, I figured that it's gonna be the same basic thing. I mean, there's not much you can do with slasher films, especially the movie that began all slasher films, most slasher films. It was kind of like the original slasher film was the first Halloween movie. And I figured there's not really much you can do other than put some supernatural elements in it, which, I knew they weren't going to do that, because it was never a supernatural film. So the story, I knew it wasn't going to be anything particularly original. But the plot, like how things transpired in the movie, I thought was okay. I thought it wasn't bad. I thought because it tried to capture the feel of the first movie, I thought they did that successfully. I was like, okay, it was shot well. I don't agree with Orlando and Uncle Ninja, because
Did he call me a ninja? What are you calling a ninja?
I don't agree with him as far as like I didn't really see that many scenes. There weren't too many scenes to me where I thought a character did a dumb thing or not. I thought they did pretty well, as far as there was a couple, but for the most part, I thought it was a lot of the killing scene seemed somewhat reasonable. I mean,
y'all see how Death looking at me, right?
He was a no one expected him, so I didn't expect him to know that he was gonna come. Except, what I mean is, most of the people who got killed weren't expecting him. Obviously, the people who knew about him expected him. Like what's her name, Jamie Lee Curtis's character. That's why she had a whole house set up for his capture or whatever. But like the one scene where the doctor kills the
police officer.
He wasn't. He was expecting
That was
that.
but that was the only one that was like
Okay,
shocking.
but even the babysitter, I'm pretty sure she wasn't expecting some crazy dude to be in the closet. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So there was most of the scenes I was like, all right, you know, it's believable to me. Like I get it, and you know, it's Michael Myers. He's a mentally challenged, really strong person. You know what I'm saying? And so it didn't bother me, and I knew the kind of movie I was going into, so it didn't bother me that much. But I did like the scenes where they did show where characters did smart things, so I kind of balanced it out for me. So I didn't have as much problem with that. So I thought the plot was actually okay. Story not so much okay, because I mean we know what to expect. Michael Myers is going to escape from this escape asylum. He's going to kill people, and that's what I wanted to expect. That's what I got. I thought it was well shot. So I give the story not so much, but the plot, you know, not bad. Or death.
Yes, I am deaf. And alright. I can't talk in that thing. And it's getting really hot. When it comes to the movie, I will not. Why? Because I am deaf. I am the only true God. When it comes to the story, kind of like what Brian said, I didn't expect anything different. The story is it's a slasher film, you know? But I disagree with the plot. I thought the plot was horrible. Because the plot is how the story is told, or the manner in which the story was told. And I just thought that there was issues all over the place. You know, mainly Jamie Lee Curtis's character, you know, for someone to be preparing basically her entire life, right? Because she was a teenager when this happened. And she's an old woman in this movie, a grandmother, right? So she has an adult child and now a grandchild. So she's been preparing for what?
40 years?
At least 40 years now. For someone to be preparing for 40 years, for her to be so jumpy, scary, and just overall just not very well trained, I just thought it was kind of comical. You know what I mean? Like she was shaking when she was holding the gun. She installed windows that he could easily punch through. It just didn't.
What scene was that?
Didn't turn on the lights until he was in the house.
No, she turned the lights off, which.
No, the big lights on the roof.
Oh yeah.
Wait until he was in the house to turn the lights on.
I mean, it was just one of those things. Like she just wasn't very well. It didn't seem like she was. She didn't seem as prepared as. Like I expected her to just be hardcore. Like okay, I've been prepared. Not only did I prepare, right? Not only did I prepare myself, but I prepared my daughter too. So this was like years and years of training. But when the moment of truth came, it was like she just dumb thing after dumb thing. I was just like, okay, you know, why have
you just totally disagree with that? Like,
I just kind of felt like it was like a trap. Like she wanted him to.
Yeah, thank you. That was the idea.
No,
She really wanted him to break through the glass and slam her head on the
right. That's why.
That's why I disagree, because if you look at if you guys are paying attention, apparently we're not. All the glass or windows, because that's what I'm assuming when you mean by glass, not just the door part, right?
The door part.
They had cages on it.
The door part. We're talking about the door part.
Yeah, the door part.
Specifically.
Agreed. Okay, now, to me, I can see someone overlooking that. But here's why I say that.
You have 40 years of planning and you overlooked installing the wrong type of glass in your door?
No. What I'm saying is that okay, it's relatively thin. It wasn't like it was a window on the door. It was like relatively thin panes, right? And I think even someone who's witnessed Michael Myers probably doesn't really realize just how strong he is. I mean, most people aren't going to expect, I'm going to like some guy's going to push his arms through the little skinny planes on the window and then grab you and choke you up
Jamie Lee Curtis, who experienced her.
Even her, like it's like when you plan something,
and you as a
military person, right? Who knows a little bit about strategy, you know that not every strategy is perfect.
My door would be metal.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, I can agree with that.
Even if it wasn't metal, you know he's out there. Why would you even be standing by the door?
Why
There's
would
certain
you be
things
by
like
the door? You just made eye contact. Let me stand up against the door so you can.
Not only that, not only that, but and then why was the door so hard? I mean, why was the window so hard to see out of? It's almost like she had like church glass in there. Shouldn't that just be normal glass so you can clearly see out there?
Anyway, like a little crow's nest.
Anyway, my point. This is my point. My point is that I didn't really care for the plot. You know what I'm saying? Like how they told the story, it just wasn't believable to me. And some of the scenes where people were getting killed, yes, some of the early scenes where he was killing people make sense, but like, I don't know if you said this, but there are spoilers. So
Spoiler alert.
if you haven't seen it yet, or you have any inclination to actually go watch this movie, we're gonna ruin it for you. But so like when he first escapes from the bus, right? So the old man and his son, like, I get it. In 1978, when this movie first came out, people were a little bit more trusting. People got out of their cars. They let their kids run around. Okay, this is 2018, all right? No one in 2018 is going to get out of a car at night with people with a bunch of white suits walking around and leave their 9-year-old son in the truck and say, just wait right here. I'm going to go just walk around and see what's going on. No one does that. It makes no sense. Not in this age. In 1978, I'm sorry, that just made sense because people did stuff like that in those movies, but it was believable. You know what I'm saying? Because of the time. It's 2018. No one does that. There's no reason to. Everyone has cell phones nowadays. The boy had a cell phone. You know what I'm saying? It could have been easier to look, now we're going to keep riding, we're going to call the cops. Like, hey, look, there's a bus.
Up and walking around.
Right.
I'm like, they're good.
Exactly. It just made no sense.
I disagree with that. And the reason why I disagree is because if you look, I actually thought the scene was shot pretty well because of this. When they're pulling up, he almost hits a person, and that's what makes him stop. So that's why he didn't have the mindset, I'm just going to keep going. It wasn't like, okay, you see an accident on the side of the road. Someone was in the road.
No, I see the bus in the road that says prison.
Right.
That's my point though. That's my point though. That's my point though. See, wait.
You know, with those white jumpsuits.
You guys.
That's what I'm about to say.
Like,
come on now.
You guys are looking at it from the viewer's perspective rather than looking at how maybe the person who was actually in the situation.
No, I'm looking at it from a parent perspective. I'm not leaving my 9-year-old son in the car.
I agree.
With a bunch of strange people that I don't know.
I agree with what you're
at
saying.
9 or 10 o'clock at night. I'm sorry.
I
That scene is just not believable.
Prison.
I agree that you wouldn't do it, but there are plenty of people out there who would.
Would you get out the bus?
No, I would not.
Get out the car?
No,
No,
wrong.
I
In
wouldn't.
1978,
That's not true.
That makes sense.
That's actually not
nowadays.
true.
No.
There was a woman who literally, this was in the news recently. There was a woman who literally left her daughter or son, or it was a toddler. I can't remember what gender it was. The little kid was, but she left her kid out on someone's front porch and ran away. Plenty of people still do stupid stuff.
No.
They still do dumb stuff.
Brian, no. That's not. That's a bad comparison. She doesn't want the kid. Okay, obviously.
Well, I don't know. They interviewed her and she said that's not what it was. I don't know if she got her kid back.
Anyway,
that's her kid back.
Okay,
whatever. People do dumb stuff. So I don't.
People do dumb
I don't buy that
stuff,
whole thing
but
that it's
no.
not believable. No,
That's not believable.
People do dumb stuff all the time. They do
It's
dumb
not
stuff
believable.
all the time. Especially redneck people like that who. Yeah, I'm gonna get my gun and make sure everything's okay because this is our woods. And
But Brian, he didn't even have his gun with him.
Hey, that was kind of. I was the gun. That was actually kind of.
At least the young boy was smart enough to like, okay, let me take my gun with me. Anyway, my bad. Go ahead.
First, then ask.
How do you feel about the story and the plot?
Yeah, come on,
You
bring it
never
on.
have.
Well, first of all,
Who is she?
okay, so what happened was
You gotta tell me you
I
are.
fell in love with this guy. Turns out he was dead.
Oh, okay.
So then I became this and I died. So I'm a corpse bride. But as far as the movie goes, I too hadn't seen the first one yet. Hashtag sheltered life. Hey mom. I never saw the first one. So having no background and just coming into the movie, it was really hard to kind of connect the dots. A lot of it was just stuff that they just threw on a board and we're kind of hoping it would create a cohesive movie. And to me, I just didn't feel like it did.
I was trying to help you though, like, because there are certain things that they put in there as homage to like the original movie.
Wise to watch the first
I know. So really, just being someone who had never seen the movie, I found it hard to kind of feel out any kind of real story to it. I just got the sense, Michael Myers is there, we're running from him, but that's pretty much it. And I kind of was hoping for more because Jamie Lee Curtis is supposed to be like this really good actress. So when I heard that she was in it, I was like, well, okay, Halloween remake, it's a slasher. It's going to probably be cheesy like the original, but Jamie Lee Curtis is in it, so it's going to have redeeming qualities. But they just threw her in there as like a crazy grandma, and I couldn't connect with her character. It was not believable, really. It just kind of felt forced, and the whole movie just kind of felt forced to me.
The first movie was not cheesy.
I didn't see it. I'm saying, but a lot of those old Halloween style movies are cheesy.
No, it was actually
very well directed.
Yeah.
I was
The
saying
first one
more
was
like
good.
the older, the older slasher.
This one definitely didn't
or
do
like,
the first one justice.
Crystal Lake, those type of movies where they're like people getting stabbed in the shower.
We're going to move on to the cinematography, and we'll start with Uncle Ninja as far as what do you think of
He's been revealed.
Cinematic aspect of it?
I think from the cinematic aspect, it looks pretty good. I mean, I don't want to give too many spoilers, but there was one scene where he just stabbed a little girl through her throat straight from the back, and it was just like, whoa. They really did a good job with lighting and the scenes, and of course it's Halloween, so the costumes and everything. They did a good job at it. If they had got the plot together, it would have went just fine. But as far as the cinematics, I would give them a good ass score.
Yeah, same here too with it. With the cinematics, I like how when it's first coming on, like when you see the pumpkin, and it's like being resurrected, like coming up. And if you kind of really look at it, you gotta go back and take a look at it. But like where his nose is at, it's got like a little knife kind of in it and stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. But jumping back on that scene that you was talking about, I think that was like that's like one of my favorites, man. Because it's like just how he was looking through the window. Right. And then you see him kind of looking, and then he goes and sees shadow, and you see the lady doing her thing, and then she comes to the window. And like I was thinking that the shutters was closed, and then she gets hit, like that, but they didn't take that. They got that like But that was cool. And then that part with I like how they did with the police and the police car. It was like the guy's head. It was kind of like a jack-o'-lantern thing. So I mean, I really that was well done, man. So I mean, cinematography, it was on point with it though.
I thought the cinematography was actually quite good too. Actually, one of my favorite scenes is actually the very first scene where you see the pumpkin reversing from.
That's what he was just.
That's what he said. You said the pumpkin. I heard the knife going there and everything.
No. That was the pumpkin. The very first scene, how they opened the movie. That's what he just said.
I thought he said it was like the pumpkin with the dude where he carved people's heads out.
Oh yes.
No, that too. But the very first scene that he said was the first scene with the pumpkin being resurrected or whatever.
I liked it too.
You have good taste.
And I thought it was, because I was thinking about why would they do something like that. And this could be totally wrong, but I was thinking because this movie is supposed to pretend like the other movies after the first movie doesn't exist, so it's like they're reversing it back. Reversing it back to the second movie or whatever. But I also thought, a lot of the scenes where he was killing people were really good, particularly the one where you see the guy that was making out with the girl on the couch. He's like, screw it, I'm gonna go do something about this. And then like the very next scene, you just see him like stabbed up on the wall, like hanging over the wall.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah. I think that when you compare it to the first movie, which is really well shot, because John Carpenter back in the 80s, was the man. They even recycle some of the shots from the old movie, like in the first movie, Jamie Lee Curtis is sitting in the classroom in high school and she looks out and she sees Michael Myers. But in this movie, her granddaughter's sitting in the classroom and she looks out and she sees her. Or I think in the first movie too, Michael Myers gets shot and he falls out the window onto the floor, onto the ground outside, and they look out, again, he's not there. And Jamie Lee Curtis did that in this movie. So I thought that was cool how they paralleled with that movie. But at the same time, I kind of didn't like it because it's like, all right, kind of recycling shots. It's like, all right. But, so I liked it because I liked that they were playing homage, but I was like, okay, I want some shit. But like I said before, I mean, it's only but so much you can do. with this character. That's why I think these guys are judging it pretty harshly. I think when you watch the first Michael Myers movie, when you watch the first Halloween movie, it's not really about the story. It's about how the movie, how he goes about killing people, how it's shot. That's really what it's about. It's about building suspense. This is it's a visual movie. It's not a thinking movie. You see what I'm saying? It's not.
That's not my issue though. Because I love the first Halloween movie. I mean, you're right. It's beautifully shot. It's not about the story so much because you pretty much know what the story is, but it's about the plot. It's about how you do it. And I just felt like how they did this movie wasn't really well done. Now I do agree. I like this
based on fallacious arguments.
Whatever.
Okay. They're hiding down in the basement. He doesn't know we're down here. Let me shoot through the.
Yeah, now that part I didn't like.
Well, you said it's about building suspense, and I did not feel
and
he
thinks that's bad because he thinks it's a dumb thing to do.
Yeah, it is.
But really, if you think about it, what she was trying to do,
trying to get him to
come down.
Because at first I was like,
you wouldn't pay attention to the movie.
Because at first I was like, why is she?
Because I thought the same thing. But okay, I get it now. Yeah.
But like I was saying, I like the cinematography. As far as the visuals and all that, that's fine. The first scene I thought was good with Michael Myers, with all the other crazy people acting crazy around him when the mask got shown. But actually, one of my favorite scenes of the movie, and it wasn't even that big, but I just like the way it was shot, was when the kids ran into him.
Oh yeah.
And because it was a perfect parallel between just pure innocence and pure evil. I just like that. I like that feeling where it's just like you have all these kids are running around, everything's like all nice and peaceful and everyone's having fun. But in the midst of all that, you have this pure evil person. And then when you started walking away, I always like those types of shots. When someone's walking away and they're following from behind, I just thought it was a cool shot. It wasn't for very long, but I just like that shot. I thought that was one of the best shots in the entire movie because it's that feeling of dread, that feeling of like, okay, everyone's nice about to get screwed up. You know what I'm saying? People's gonna get killed or whatever, and how he just, because it's Halloween, no one thinks twice. He has a mask on, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was the best shot.
So doesn't that kind of negate what you said before?
In what way?
Because you said that people were doing dumb things, but in that very same sentence you said no one would really be afraid of him or think anything because he has a mask on and it's Halloween. And most of the scenes where he was killing people, other than the people who already knew about it, most people, I don't think they did dumb things, they just didn't know.
No, those were kids. They didn't know. I mean, they're just kids.
I'm talking about. But everyone who got killed, to me, seemed like, other than maybe the father, he was dumb.
The father was...
That was dumb. I'll give you that. The father of...
only the main characters did stupid stuff, okay? We can say it like that.
That's
I don't think Jamie Lee Curtis did a lot of stupid stuff. I think maybe her daughter did, like when she put the remote control down on the counter, I thought that was kind of dumb. Even though it didn't really matter because Michael Myers just ripped it out at all. But that was the whole point. It was for him to be lured.
Well, I didn't like the...
It irritated me that he knew instantly that it was that.
How
to get under there?
He did like a little investigation.
Well, I mean...
Yeah, apparently he's pretty...
I thought he was
but they shot through the...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, they shot through the floor,
yeah.
So he knew someone was down there.
I know, but
Are you talking about as far as how he found out?
How to get down there? It was like
you know what they were hinting at, and this is where I thought, well, we'll get into this later about the acting or the writing. When the doctor was talking about how he's a predator, so I think that's he sets traps, he figures things out. So I think that's how he kind of this part I can get down there. And he was looking at all the equipment and the electronics and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, I was waiting for my turn.
I was finished.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, he's still holding the sickle of speed.
I agree. Yeah, I know. I agree that, I mean, overall it looked nice. I didn't think it looked bad. I felt like the visuals were good. One scene, there were two scenes that I was like, that's cool. In the beginning, when there's two reporters that are investigating him, they are getting killed in a bathroom and the girl is hiding behind the stall and he's kind of like creeping up on her and she knows there's just somebody coming in the bathroom, and he takes teeth and like drops them on the floor, and you see like red teeth on the floor, and I felt like that was scary. And then at the end, we really are just telling the whole movie. But at the end, when Jamie Lee Curtis's house, when she sets everything on fire and you saw everything kind of going up in flames little by little in her house, I felt like that was pretty cool looking too.
See Michael Myers look through that.
Yeah,
That was pretty
I liked
bad.
that. That was a nice shot too. So overall, I mean, it looked fine. There weren't a whole lot of really shots or moments that were suspenseful or made me really feel scared. So that was kind of a bummer. But overall, I felt like it looked fine.
All right, now we're gonna move on to unless John, you say you.
No.
Okay.
It's too late now.
We're gonna move on to acting. Uncle Ninja, what do you think of the acting overall? Maybe any individual performances that maybe stood out, or not necessarily in a good way?
The little black kid had me rolling. I have to say
You're my
that,
favorite.
man. He had me rolling, especially when they was talking about Let's Go Smoking. What did they call it?
Magical.
Abracadabra.
No,
was it
Kazam.
Alakazam or something?
Alakazam or whatever. He's like, yeah, I know you guys gonna go back here and smoke weed. Oh, I think he was pretty good especially for a small kid. And I liked the relationship he had with the babysitter, the way they could go back and forth. That really it built attention in the film as far as
Likability.
Right. Overall, I think the acting was pretty good. It just like they just have to fix that plot. I mean, they did what they were supposed to do, you know. But I didn't see anyone that was just lame that really stood out. That's bad.
Yeah, same here. Little kid, yeah, he was that comic relief on it, man. You know, kind of lighting some things up and all. It's mighty funny, you know. You don't see him after
He got out of
he got out of there once everything went on. He was like, yo.
He was the only one that did what you would expect him to do.
Right, you gonna die. That and also I want to say the reporters. I mean, you know, it's like we're podcast type people. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, seeing them actually going to the lengths to get that story like that. It was convincing and stuff. And also too, I like how everything was building up. Like, you know, the whole introduction to him actually coming back into society and stuff. And all was pretty well, you know, put out in all the performance. So yeah, some performance was straight for what they had to work with.
I thought the acting was just kind of okay. There was like both of you guys said, there was a couple of people who I thought did it well. I actually thought the little black kid acting wasn't good, but
I didn't like it either.
but it was funny, so that's why I still enjoyed it. But I thought there was I thought some of the stuff he was saying was kind of funny. I thought the way he delivered it was humorous, but sometimes I thought I think it worked for his innocence.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, I thought it was a little overacting sometimes. Yeah, no, but I'm just saying. I don't think it was good. I don't think it was
We've seen
good.
some good kids in some movies.
I don't think it was terrible either. Yeah, no, it was funny. It was funny, but there was some stuff that kind of made me cringe too when he was saying like, all right, it's not good. But overall, though, if I had to like rate the acting, I would say just kind of okay. Like,
And I don't think it's necessarily because of the actors. I think it's more of some of the writing, which we'll get into next. I won't get too much into it, but yeah, I just thought it was okay.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, nothing to brag about, that's for sure. Or whatever. There's nothing in the movie that really stood out like, okay, you know, this is really good. But for these types of movies, you don't really watch it for these, you know, the acting part. It's a slasher, you know what I mean? So it's okay.
I feel like if there is a line between good acting and really bad acting, they just were right on that line. They were like one thing away from it just making you cringe the whole time. I just feel like a lot of the lines were forced. It didn't do it for me. Nothing they said really was interesting. I don't know. Did not like it.
So I guess we'll move to script and writing of the Ninja.
I would say it was okay. It was okay. Nothing to be excited about. But at the same time, and we talked about it, we enjoyed watching the movie, but not because it was the best script or writing or plot or whatever. So I mean, what can I say? Nothing stood out enough for me to say I like this part that much, or this part of the script was just that terrible.
I was happy that they didn't put a bunch of cheesy one-liners in it, though.
Oh, that would have been terrible.
Yeah, that's
I know.
true. We can at least be happy for that.
Right.
Script and writing.
Script and writing. I want to say it was okay. I do want to. Can't remember which one it is, but it does. I want to say there probably was a couple of cheesy lines in it. Type of deal. I kind of took it as like lazy writing type of thing. They didn't put that in there. But I was like, but I mean, it still worked for me because it's it's Halloween. It's, Michael Myers. It's just so it works. They got away with it.
I thought the writing was actually quite terrible. I think with this type of movies, silence works best. I think this movie should be more about the shots and the different takes and the different angles and the atmospherics. Because there was just some stuff I was like, okay, just shut up, just be quiet, and just let the scene ride out. Because like that one scene where Jamie Lee Curtis is like, I pray every day.
Yeah,
Oh,
God,
God,
yeah.
yeah.
I was trying to
Escape.
remember what
And
Why
the
would
guy,
you pray for something? That's
and he was like, that's a dumb thing to pray for. He just walks off. I was like, okay, well, that's supposed to be funny.
Yeah,
It's supposed to, and sometimes I just think for this type of movie, and I think if you watch the original Halloween,
Very
I don't
little
think
dialogue.
there was a whole lot of dialogue.
Very little dialogue.
Yeah, this isn't the type of movie where you need to have a snappy script or good writing. Sometimes you just keep your mouth shut. So overall, I just thought some of the writing was really bad. Like the doctor, for some reason, really annoyed me.
Yeah.
I really didn't
A
like
lot of
him.
his lines.
Matter of fact, I
annoyed
just
me.
didn't like his character, but go ahead.
Yeah, a lot of his lines annoyed me. The cop, who I thought would have been interesting and entertaining and funny, he was just kind of bland. He didn't really do or say much. Really, I guess his highlight in the whole film was the fact that he got killed.
When he got killed, right?
Right, I was like, oh,
He
man,
needs
they
to
made
just go
sure
back
he
to
was.
coaching football.
Yeah,
Remember the Titans.
But overall, other than the little kid and maybe the girl's blonde friend, she actually wasn't bad. She
They never really explained either why he saved Michael Myers when he got caught. They never really explained.
Well, he said
I
he had
would-
to study him.
Yeah.
No. I'm talking about the cop.
He didn't know. I don't think he knew that there was a guy going. I can't. It's been a while since I watched it, but I think it was one of those things where it was like, okay, you can't, because he was trying to stop the original doctor from killing him. He was like,
Right.
no, you can't do that. You're a civilian. You can't just go kill people. You see what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. They never really. Maybe that was.
Yeah, that's why. I mean,
Oh.
it's kind of like if you was running down with someone, you was about to kill him. The cops would be like, you can't do that. You can't just kill somebody.
Unless they're, well,
You know.
Once
he needs to have a
shooting from
The
child.
fact that you did it, they probably shoot you.
Especially if you're that outfit.
But yeah, no, it's script and writing.
I mean, it's just. It's not really that much. I mean, I do agree. There were a lot of talking parts. I didn't really care for any of the scenes between Jamie Lee Curtis and her daughter. Like all their scenes was just cringeworthy. Especially the scene when they were at dinner
Yeah.
or whatever.
Oh,
I just
that was
thought,
terrible.
yeah,
She
I just
came in on that
yeah.
spot.
I mean,
Hated that.
it's like I get what they were trying to do, but I
gotta
just
go
didn't
kill
like,
him.
you know why I just didn't see it as believable, because and maybe it's because I'm stuck on like the Terminator Sarah Connor type of woman who's trying to prepare her daughter for
Right.
impending
Hey, y'all be taking y'all take like a concept and it's like, all right, it doesn't live up to this concept. It's
what?
like,
I'm just telling you
Yeah.
what I'm just telling you what I expect. Yeah, I'm just telling you what I expect. I'm
Wait,
thinking.
what were our expectations?
Well, what I'm saying is, this is a woman who was traumatized, right?
Yeah.
She was severely traumatized by her brother Michael Myers from the first movie, and since then she has been mentally and physically preparing herself for what she was praying for the entire time.
Yeah.
So someone who was mentally and physically preparing themselves for something that they wish would happen. The whole fact that she was going back,
so she's gonna be just a stone cold, hard faced woman 100% of the time. She's a human being.
no, not one.
Not to mention that, but 40 years. This happened 40 years ago, and people are telling her that she's crazy, that she needs to change. I'm pretty sure she's gonna have a couple of breakdowns.
Yeah.
It's talking about.
Well, like
I think y'all are reaching on that one, but
Look,
whatever.
this is my opinion, okay?
Fallacious,
Whatever.
Fallacious
It's
opinion.
not a fallacious opinion. Like I said, for me, it's not believable. But how they did Sarah Connor to me was more believable.
Yeah, but it's like you went in like with the she better be like Sarah Connor. Or
No,
not gonna like this.
No, I didn't. I just felt like, okay, that's more believable to me than someone who looks ill-prepared. Like, she looked like she was ill-prepared.
Well, Sarah Connor didn't have a lot of time in that movie to show her human side. It was all about.
She did show her human side in that movie. We can talk about that after the
Wait,
podcast.
explain it now, man.
No.
Explain it
We
now.
can talk about that.
No,
after the
explain that
podcast.
now. Explain it now. I would like to know when in that movie that she showed her human side, or that like her weak aspect of her.
When she was ready to kill the black, I can't remember his name, but the black scientist, and she broke down when her son got there, and she curled up into a little ball. Because,
you're right.
Because she
I
did.
stand corrected. Because that was actually pretty good scene.
That was an awesome scene.
Yeah.
An awesome movie, unlike this one. Anyway, but that's
Way to go, John.
But the point I'm trying to make was I just didn't like their scenes. I didn't like their dialogue between one another, and I don't think that their characters they didn't have enough depth for me to really care. You know what I'm saying? Especially her daughter or whatever. I just didn't care. You know what I'm saying? She didn't have enough face time for me to really care about her or her husband.
But I think
the whole dynamic.
I think that's a better critique though than to say, you know what, she wasn't like Sarah Connor. I think it's a better critique. If you say, okay, the scripting was bad and maybe the writing was bad and they didn't develop the character enough for me to believe it, I think it's a better critique than to say, okay, she wasn't exactly like Sarah Connor, so that's why I don't like her.
Well, I didn't say she had to be exactly like Sarah Connor.
You mentioned her like 5 times rather than just judging the movie.
No, I'm giving the audience a reference from my point of view, how I felt that she should have been, or at least somewhat mirror her.
Yeah,
So
she did. I mean, that she did almost exactly the same things that Sarah Connor did. She
No,
showed,
she didn't.
She showed
Because Sarah
she showed
Connor-
you the weakness. She rose to the occasion and she defeated the enemy. In fact, I don't think Sarah Connor was the one who defeated the enemy in Terminator, did she?
Which one?
The second one.
T-2000?
Yeah.
well, no, it was
The
Terminator.
Terminator.
Yeah.
So isn't she did better than Sarah Connor? Did she actually defeated the enemy in this?
But did she? Do you
yeah.
really think
I've
they
heard-
did?
From what I heard, this is the last movie. So
Anyway,
yeah.
well,
You can't kill
anyway, whatever.
Put her all out.
Script, whatever is garbage. On to the next one.
So I don't know if this belongs in this section or maybe another section, but I didn't like the way it was cast. I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis I like, but I can't stand the actress that was the mom. I don't like her in that role. Maybe it's because I've seen her in other things, but I don't think she was a good cast for that role. I don't know. Maybe it's a personal bias. I just don't like her.
Apparently,
I think
because
she's
was like,
annoying, and it just made her even more annoying when she was disagreeing with her and like hating her mom. And I get that she put her through a lot and blah blah blah. But
They sold me on that though. I think it could have been done better, but they actually sold me on that. I was like,
just-
okay, your mom was basically training you to be a little soldier your whole life for 40 years for stuff that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, she probably kind of resented her for it. So I was like,
I
I got it. I was like, all right.
But I mean, especially for
What
someone
happened there,
who
yeah.
didn't come to the movie with a background knowledge, I mean, it would have been nice to like at least have their interactions explain a little more. Like I just felt like when Jamie
That's why
Lee
you should've watched the
Curtis
first
showed
movie
up,
before
she
you-
was
Don't worry, I
just
should
like,
have watched it too.
when she showed up, it was just like crazy old drunk grandmas here, and it just was awkward. It was awkward and not.
Even the one scene where she was in the
Like she
car,
was not
and I
there.
guess she was debating whether she was gonna go kill
She should've-
Michael Myers or whatever, and she
should've
took
went
like
right
the little what was it
Oh,
shot.
why does she have a tiny bottle? Why does she have a mini bottle?
I was like, what?
Okay.
What is she
You
doing?
have
But I
done
think-
battle
hey,
with
that's
Michael
fine.
Myers. Why are you drinking from a mini bottle?
Right.
Get you a full size
I was about to
bottle.
say, you can at least get you a full size bottle
That was so
if you was real
strange.
conflicted
And then
about
she's
it.
struggling to get that in her mouth.
No Alakazam.
Yeah. And it was hard for me to get behind her because Jamie Lee Curtis didn't come
She was all
off
over the
as a
place.
strong, yeah, I'm gonna kill him. It was like kind of like
Like
flighty
Sarah
grandma.
Connor.
Those are
Right.
She just was like flighty cuckoo grandma,
Those are some-
unhinged,
those are
and
some-
I could not get
those are
behind
some
her.
terrible.
I think she needs to stick to activity commercials.
And I'll say
Her
that.
activity commercials are more believable than
I'll-
her performance.
I'll say if anything.
Drunk grandma.
I'll say if
was conflicted
anything.
about my
I'll say if
life.
anything. If she came off as a drunk cuckoo grandma, I think that's what they were going for. So
But
they
it
have-
doesn't.
It may have been.
Would they have
it
succeeded in
doesn't-
that?
They would have succeeded.
That was kind of what they were going for.
But it doesn't matter what she's doing at home. She has high-tech security, guns everywhere,
Not that
all this stuff. Well, it's
Yeah.
more high tech than anything we have.
Yeah, because she's actually trying to prepare.
But that's
for
what I'm
it,
saying.
whatever.
She's got enough foresight and mental stability and clarity to have all this stuff going on at her home, and she's training. But then she's flattening unfinished grandma. Like the two things don't really go
Look at it
together.
like this. Okay, so
She should have been a little bit more.
Basically, there was a better way. Basically, there's a better way to show her human side, or show some.
Yeah, you could have
You know what
shown
I'm
her
saying?
like at
There's a
home
better way.
at night, like drinking, and she's like thinking.
Well,
Like,
Looking at her.
I actually
looking at her daughters.
Talk to her granddaughter.
I actually disagree, and the reason why I disagree is because if you actually, what I got from it was that she had a lifetime of preparing for something that may not happen, right? That's kind of how I saw it. She was preparing all this time for something that may not happen, and when I saw the scene where she's like sitting in the car outside of the hospital, it was almost like, you know, I've prepared all this time. He's about to go to this maximum security thing, and what have I done with myself? I've wasted my life. I've wasted my. I could have spent time with my family. Maybe they're right. And I thought that's what she was kind of like breaking
She
down.
should have moved to Costa Rica.
And I think that's why maybe she was. And I think that's why she was acting so crazy when she went to where they were eating, because she was already drinking. She had already, you know, and that's why she was like. I thought the performance could have been better, but I got what they. To me, it was like, all right, it works for me. I see what they're doing, but I agree. Like, I think the lines weren't right. I think it could have been written better.
Yeah,
you know
I
what
mean,
I'm saying?
you could keep
or don't
her-
say much at all.
You can keep everyone as they are, but when the things that they say to each other just needs to kind of tie it together better.
Yeah,
They kinda
I
just
agree.
random-
I do agree with that. Yeah, I think the writing could have been much better. Much better. All right, so we're gonna go to the score, starting with Uncle Ian.
There was music in this movie?
It was the parts that. No, there was
That's
the
all I remember hearing.
parts. I don't know. Those are the parts I actually really like.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, as far as the score, it's decent. It's decent, like I said. They used the music to build up, you know, a good amount of suspense when you thought somebody was going to get killed, and then they killed the music, and like, it's just a cat or whatever. They played the games with the score. It did its part, man. Nothing. I won't buy the soundtrack. You know what I'm saying?
I'll sample it.
Alright, we'll put in the beat, but yeah. Nothing that he must have liked the score. That usually we don't talk about the score, so he wrote score in there because he would probably like it.
We do talk about the score, but I never wrote it down before. That's since we did talk about it before. I'm gonna put it in.
Other than that noise.
It was a forgettable movie. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, so we're not going to say the score.
No, go ahead.
No, it's your turn.
Oh, did you say the score? Like how many votes?
Oh, we have a
Score, like
Like the
score of the,
music.
Oh,
of the
score.
movie.
Oh, my bad. I'm
Touch
just,
him with your.
it's late.
I know.
Go ahead and take shots.
Score.
It is
Okay,
late.
musical score.
I'm
Yeah.
glad I have this on because you can't see the back.
Oh, man. Not by yourself, man.
I'm fighting to stay awake, man. I'm tired.
It's all to the good.
I had popcorn for
We
dinner.
are old.
It's 7 o'clock. But yeah, the music score. I like it, man. Like, you know, it's just I don't really. Yeah, just that, and then just and then the part, you know, like when it builds up to it, you kind of hear the long type of the longer type of. Well, I don't know the musical terminology is for it, but it works for that. So yeah, I'll sample it.
Yeah, I mean, I had the classic Halloween score, which I always thought was good. I mean, I want to say John Carpenter usually scores most of his own movies or whatever, and they put. And I thought they did a good job with accenting it with some other things, like the one scene near the end where you just hear the and they just added it in there. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it built the atmosphere pretty well. I would say it's probably one of the better aspects of the movie. I just think some of the other weaker aspects of the movie don't really highlight it. Yeah, don't really highlight it as much. But overall, I really enjoyed the score.
Yeah, I mean, they used the same score from the original movie, which was good. So, I mean, I didn't expect it to be anything so far. It's the same score.
Yeah, I'm a music lover and I'm disappointed in myself because I didn't even really notice that there was a score. All I remember hearing is like the Halloween music in the background. I mean, maybe
That's part of it.
if I couldn't hear it, it would have sounded me
That's part of the
shoving
score.
popcorn and getting my drink in my mouth. But I mean, all I remember is the
Yeah,
little
let's
Halloween
see.
noise.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the score.
I guess it
It's
was
cool.
fun. I guess it
Michael
was.
Myers
I mean,
was
I was never scared at any time in the movie, so that's all I feel.
No,
It definitely wasn't.
Yeah, that.
But I don't.
It's a slasher.
But
Those
there's a
slasher
guy coming
movies
to
are
kill
not
you.
really.
That's supposed to be scary. It's 2018. Like, They should have been able to make him more frightening.
If you go back and you look at our
I am
original
not happy.
review of the trailer for this movie before it came out, that was one of our critiques. It was like, okay, what else can you possibly do?
They even said it in the
This
movie.
movie was
Yeah, they did. They even said it in the
So
movie.
I was like, yeah, oh wow, y'all gonna do something.
Nah, I kind of knew it because you can't. What else can you do?
Yeah.
What else can you do other than you
It's
can't?
a slasher.
There's only so much ways you can kill
Right.
people without it getting ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Just like I was saying.
Maybe if he threw the knife at least
Cancel
one
Halloween.
time.
he's not that type of character. You saw he's real slow. You
Yeah.
know what
Yeah,
I'm
but you
saying?
can have a bow and
Powerful,
arrow.
He's more calculating. Yeah. So, and we're gonna move on to the final thoughts and ratings, starting with Uncle Ninja.
My final thoughts were the movie has such bad parts that it's almost like when we watched it together, we're like, yeah, man, I can't believe they did that. So we had a lot of fun teasing each other with the movie and complaining about it. So definitely go out and see it, you know, with some friends. Don't go by yourself and expect to be scared or see something you hadn't seen. But as a group film, it's something that you should see. But as a rating, I'd give it about a 2. I say B. I say 1 for usually B movies that just are horrible. It's fun to go see with your friends so you can yak about it, but and say you've seen it. But other than that, don't expect anything else.
Let me see. I'm gonna go with a 3. 3. On that note, because it's like you know,
We
I
got a 5.
Go ahead,
I'm playing. Go ahead.
I mean,
All right,
because
you
it's
saw
like,
he does that thing.
yeah,
That's
That's mine.
yeah. I mean, I give it a 3 because it's like, you know, it makes you want to go and look at the first one to try to get a feel. Maybe the score might go higher, but it probably should stay the same. But like I was saying, to me, it kind of felt like what was still driving it was the cutscenes and, you know, still paying homage to the old shots and stuff like that. And, you know, just having that Michael Myers theme right then, you know what I'm saying? And then I guess at the same time too, okay, we haven't had a movie with Michael Myers in a minute, so just to have something something fresh, but it's just, you know, it's a little tape on the top of the hill. So I mean, it's, you know, give it a 3.
I actually think it's pretty forgettable. I think it's a forgettable movie. I think if you want to see a good Michael Myers movie, watch the first 2. Or a good Halloween movie, watch the first 2. I think where the movie kind of went off the rails was when they hit Michael Myers with the car, and the doctor killed the cop, and I think that's where it got kind of weak. I think the last really strong scene is when, you know, she's burning him alive, and you just see him just, you know, with no emotion, just staring at her. I thought that was really a last strong scene. So I would say most of the movie I think is kind of weak. But I did enjoy it. But I think it's because I did see it in a theater setting. But I'm not gonna rewatch it. If I'm gonna go out of my way to watch a Halloween movie, I'm gonna watch the original. I thought it was a really well shot movie. I thought it was really well done. I thought this movie was mediocre at best. So I'm gonna give it a 2. I'm surprised you gave it a 3. I wasn't
We're
gonna.
I think-
all in shock.
I think right. I think the reason why too is like
disappointed.
I still gotta go and see the first one. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I mean, like I said, my score might change after seeing the first one.
Yeah.
And, you know, comparing it to that.
I don't think I disliked it as much as you guys, but I also don't think it's a strong movie. If that makes sense.
No, you feel
like I enjoyed watching
You feel
it.
like you enjoy it more watching it with like a group of people.
Yeah, like for me, seeing it in theater once is good enough. I don't need to see it again. I don't need to see it
Don't
again.
buy the DVD.
It's not a classic. You know what I'm saying? It's not a classic. It's really just a rehash of the first movie, especially the first half of the movie is really just a rehash of the first movie. Even some of the same shots, and it goes back to our original review of the trailer. What else can you possibly do? And I think that's the problem with a lot of these rehashes, especially with something as limited in scope as Halloween. Unless you add a supernatural element into it, or at first I thought they were going to do something like, well, the doctor was going to be the one going around killing people now, and I was like, that would be kind of lame, or like, you know. So so I just think overall it's a mediocre film. A lot of my friends were saying I need to check it out, and it was good, and I was a little disappointed. But I'm not that disappointed because I guess I kind of was expecting it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, two bulbs.
I definitely have to give it a 2 as well. like Brian said, it's forgettable. I'm already forgetting parts of it because it's just not a strong movie in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I also agree, if I want to watch Halloween, I'll be honest with you, I don't really care for the first one. I ain't really definitely need the sequels, or I didn't even really care for the remake that Rob Zombie did in 2008 or whatever. You know what I mean? Mainly because it's a slasher film. There's not really a whole lot you can do with Michael Myers. I always felt like it was a movie that just didn't have one movie, and that's probably about it, or whatever. So the sequel, I guess this would be considered a sequel. It is exactly what I expected it to be, just a rehash of the first movie, and I just didn't need it. When I want to go watch it, I go watch it. I don't need the 2018 version of the 1978 version, mainly because the 1978 version did it better. So definitely 2 out of 5, and that's me being real generous.
So, I didn't like Kitty from Arrested Development as the annoying mom. I just can't stand her. Wasn't she in like a Sonics commercial? I just don't like her. I didn't like the guy from Remember the Titans, the cop, with his cheesy lines.
He was in the first one.
Poor acting job. I didn't like Crazy Grandma Jamie Lee Curtis. There was one point where I started to, I know, but I didn't like her as Crazy Grandma. I wanted to see her as kicking butt. I wanted to see her burn. Did she though? She kind of like flumbled into it like an octogenarian. Oh, I killed him. Like, she didn't actually.
She almost died.
She had a huge shock.
That's kind of what
You know what I thought was
kind of what you
like, not to cut you off, because they showed like the cutscenes of her training her daughter, right? And she was like punching the back. So I was like, oh, cool, you know, maybe she learned like some jujitsu, so like when he comes, she'll be able to do stuff, right? So when she grabbed the knife, she like missed, and then he caught her hand and like stabbed her with it. I was like, where was your training at? I thought she was like, oh, I got you, I got you.
The shotgun's for tactical use, and then she's like, she can't.
She didn't even bring it up there with her. I'm like, anyway, but I just thought that was funny. Like she trained her daughter how to fight, but she doesn't know how to fight.
Right. So there was one point where I leaned over, and it was nice and warm, and I just closed my eyes, and I was like, you know what? I think I'll take a nap. Like I was okay with the nap coming in the middle of the movie, and that's never a good time when you're like, yeah, I want to get a nap. So I give it 1 bowl because I'm gonna give it 2, but the first one comes because I got to get all dressed up, I did my makeup. Kayla, look at me now. I actually did makeup. And then the other bowl, I thought there was one scene that actually made me laugh out loud when the daughter was running through the woods and then she falls and she sees all the mannequins
that was pretty ridiculous.
that Jamie Lee Curtis had shot, and their faces are all tore up, and it's like, and she's like,
I didn't really get that.
It's so corny.
Yeah, we did laugh out
loud. So you can have 2 bowls.
I know the people behind us was just like, I wish these people would shut
I
up.
know, John, you were talking about the whole time. Even I was about to go behind you like,
I'm like I said, we're throwing
We're
popcorn.
children.
I mean, yeah.
No, we look like this. Everyone
We
was like,
look. I mean,
everybody was supposed to wear their costume, but John and everyone went to wear our costume.
Brian was.
Shame.
yeah, what are you talking about?
Sorry.
Mine was in the car.
You could have worn that earlier.
But with that, guys, we're gonna wrap this up. Join us next time. This will be the last October video. Join us next Halloween or next October we'll do another whole month of horror movies. And make sure you like and subscribe, depending on which tribe.
And comment.
And share.
And one last thing. I want the knife.